Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. This chapter is talking about the way to fortunate rebirth, and everything in this chapter is connecting to afterlife, a fortunate rebirth after this lifetime. So, but after this lifetime, but it depends on this lifetime of how this person is dealing with their life. So in this subchapter is talking about giving. Giving, that means generosity, or in the Pali term is called dana. So giving, and right at the beginning of this subchapter, the Buddha said, if people knew about the result of giving, then they will give. And he said, if people knew the result of giving, they would not eat without having given. And also, nor would they allow the stain of negativeness to obsess them. That means they won't allow the stain of stinginess to actually obsess them and take roots in their mind. That means they will not be stingy. And even if it were their last morsel, the last mouthful, they will still give. So this is the experience of the Buddha, because he said, as I know the result of giving and sharing, that because he has actually experienced this himself for many, many eons. He himself has experienced this. He himself has not just given food, he himself had given his body, physical body also, to feed other beings. So he himself actually spoke from his own experience about giving. So then he follows, he said, there are 8 reasons for giving. There are 8 reasons. And these chapters are actually very simple, very, very clear, very straightforward. There is not much of a hidden meanings in there. And so we just can go over it, and then we can have a reflection or discussion. So he said there are 8 reasons for giving. One is out of affection. So if any one of you could give me an example of giving out of affection. Laurie. Maybe you know what, this group is quite good. Maybe you can actually unmute all of them, and when they want to speak, then they can unmute themselves, and much easier. See if that works better, because it's such a small group. Okay, Laurie, unmute yourself and speak, please. There you go.
Am I good?
Yeah.
Okay. A gift out of affection would be like a birthday present, or a token, a present just because, something like that.
Okay, giving out affection. So Claudio said, helping family members who are in a difficult financial situations. That is giving out of affection. Yes. Okay. And not necessarily just family members. It could be anybody. It could be anybody, right? Anybody that you know or you close out of affection. you know them, you're very close to them, then they are in difficult situations, so you help them. And it's not necessarily money. Okay? Okay. Then the next one is so funny. In an angry mood, they give in an angry mood. So you think of any of an example of this giving of an angry mood? Versha, you just have to unmute yourself. We unmute all of you already. Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I wonder if revenge comes under that category. When you're angry and you want to get revenge back on someone, so you're giving something back. It's nasty.
Oh. You're giving them something back. You know, from here, the word giving is really not giving back nasty things. So you don't throw them a dung, a truckload of dung as a revenge. So, in an angry mood.
When you get a speeding ticket or you don't want to pay it, but you have to.
Oh, okay. Galen said that when you get a speeding ticket and you have to pay it, that's okay. But that's paying, it's not giving. Mark, yeah, go ahead, Mark, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Fix other people's mistakes.
Okay.
Like children who make a financial poor decision.
Yeah. Okay. But you're not very willing to help, right? So, you see.
You're obligated to help.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't really want to.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah, don't want to. Yeah. Okay. Irene, you have something to say? Yes.
If you see someone's being hurt and that you want to help them, but you were kind of angry at the person who is hurt. Yeah. Okay. Good. Nora?
When you're in an office and they're collecting for some cause you don't believe in, but you feel you have to give. Okay. So there is sort of like agitation, irritation in their minds that I don't want to give, but everybody is giving, and so okay. So Claudio said giving in an angry probably not a wholesome act. This act may have the opposite effect on the giver, of course. Gives from an arrogant position. Yeah, he's always one step faster than everybody else. Claudio, that's a very good foresight. Yeah, giving is, I don't want to give, but I have to give. And maybe when your children come to ask you, Mom, can I have some money? I want to go and buy this book and buy that book, and they have buy musics, buy musics, and no, but they keep bugging you and bugging. Oh, go ahead, you go and buy, right, Mom? Yeah, could that be a giving of in an angry mood? Go ahead. Huh? That might happen. Yeah, so in an angry mood. Okay, and then out of stupidity, that's easy. Did I share that story last week about? No, you already said no. You haven't heard any story. Okay. Remember the student that I said she has been actually giving money to his brother for the last 20-some years, buying drugs? You were not here last week?
I think you've told that story, but I'm not in English last week.
How did you know? So now you're starting to understand Chinese?
No, that wasn't English. But we've heard the story.
You heard the story before, yeah.
one of my students, and none of my students, sort of like a disciples, like a Buddhist, you know. She used to come in the early days here, and one day she asked me a question. Said, "Sifu, I wanted to." No, she didn't ask me. Call me Sifu. She said, Sister Jessie, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. Yeah. She said, you know, I just wanted to ask you, is it wise to do this? I have been supporting my brother for the last 20 plus years because he is an addict. And it's very difficult, heartbreaking to see him going through withdrawal and having no money to buy any more drugs. So I keep giving him money. I said, that's very stupid. That's very unwise. But she said, and then she said, but he had difficult time, he had a lot of pain and he's strong withdrawal effect. I said, but still, that is very stupid. That is not wise. That is not compassion. She said, but as a Buddhist, I need to be compassionate. I said, that's not compassion. That's stupidity. That's blind love. I wrote a letter to an email friend last night, and the letter that he wrote to me last time, he actually wrote a word of Chinese, the word of love there, but he was missing something. And last night I looked at it, he actually missed the Chinese writing of the heart there. So I was writing this letter, and I talk about compassion, I talk about metta, I talk about karuna. That means loving kindness and compassion. Then I wrote the words metta in Chinese. I wrote the word karuna in Chinese. Then I wrote the word love in Chinese. Sorry. This thought just came up to me. I didn't think of talking about this. I said, look at these two words, metta and karuna, compassion, have a mind, have the mind as a space. Okay, but the word love is trapped right in the middle because it's there and this is love. Can you write out, Sansi, can you write out love there? It's trapped in feelings, in the Chinese word of feelings. Last night it was just, wow, it was just, I thought, when I wrote that letter, I thought, because he wrote that word Chinese, the word of love in Chinese, so I thought I want to explain to him what love is. So love is trapped in feelings, whether it's physical, whether it's mental, it's trapped in feelings, right in between. The word of feeling, you split that up, it's right in the between. But for the word of metta and karuna, on the bottom is being sustained by the word heart, as having the heart as its basis. Oh, it's very difficult to see. It's difficult to see, but you see, so it's actually very, very, very eye-opening. So out of stupidity, so one needs to know when one is giving out of stupidity, that means they are really not helping. That giving is really not quite helping the recipient. Like giving to an addict, right? Or if we are like prison volunteers, if we are always constantly thinking about the inmates that, oh, I want to bring things in for them, you know, even just little things like a pencil, maybe a pen. Oh, we were going to give them a pen, and then one of the inmate friends said, no, don't give that to us because it's a spring. There is a spring there. Remember that? He said,
that is a contraband. You see? Out of stupidity, we don't know. So if we have given them such pen, if they take it back to the cell, and then if they search the cell, they have that such a pen, they will be penalized. Oh, yeah, you should volunteer with us to the prison. You just eye opener. It really is. So it's actually very, very, very common that we give out of stupidity, and give out of fear. So if you want, yeah, that's good. Who made that? You did? Yeah. You see?
Only enough time for the
So you see, the middle one is heart, and then the top one and the bottom one is feelings. That's love. Okay? You only have time to make one.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's not bad. Next time, next week, I'll make it big so everybody can see it. So out of fear, giving out of fear. Give me an example, please. Oh, I want to please my boss because I'm afraid that he will fire me. Right? So how about offering food that is not suitable, such as offering meat to a vegetarian? Out of fear? That is stupidity too. Yeah. Yeah. That is stupidity too, yes. So what about fear? Is you're afraid that your boss is going to fire you, so you give him all the goodies. Yeah? So out of fear. Runs in the tradition. It says in here, because my father do it, my grandfather do it, and I don't want to actually give up that tradition. So I should actually, keep up that family tradition and do it. So is it really out of his own intention? No, he just want to upkeep the tradition. That's all, right? So. And then rebirth in a good destination. So somebody give because he wants to be reborn in a good destination. Okay, if I give more, I'll give more. If I give more seafood set all the time, if you give more, then you may be able to be reborn in the heaven. Not just giving. There are more to it. Okay, so rebirth in a good destination. And then my heart will be glad, joyful, and happy. So when I give, I will feel happy, I will feel joyful, I am glad. Because why? I see that, people, rebirth in good destination would be like self-serving. And my heart will be glad, joyful, and happy also could be self-serving. Okay? So, but it's better than all the above, right? At least you'll be happy and joyful and glad when you give. And then the next one is ennobles and adorns the mind. So the last one is it ennobles and adorns the mind. That beautifies the mind. And so from here you can see. It's actually a different kind of mentality in this giving, the 8 reasons for giving. And I could say, I think the most noble one is the last one. Of course, there should be number 9, maybe, I think this one is actually number 9 too. It ennobles and adorns the mind, and the mind should not be attached to I have given. Right? So I think that actually that is included in there. So, An arrogant position has an underlying sense of entitlement. The giver, as she here is giving, is not coming from a grateful position and has no awareness that their good fortune is an incredible blessing and should be a humbling experience. Yeah. Kwok sent me a link on Sunday about Chuck Finney. Is it Chuck Finney? Yeah. A billionaire in the States who has given all his wealth, and he said only gives when I'm alive. And he gives, and actually he ended that organization because he said I have given everything. And he lives a very simple life, very frugal life, and so I think it was last week actually he signed. He closed his foundation because he said my foundation has served the purpose of giving while I'm living. He's 80 something, 92, and he has given how many billions of dollars?
I think he started with 8 billion.
8 billion in the pool, yeah. And didn't know how much it multiplies to, but he has given it all out. Chuck Finney, if you have time, look at it. Look at him. I read his article last year, but didn't know until Kwok sent me that actually he closed his foundation. I think he probably foresee that he's going to go soon.
Yeah, he actually set the date for it. So he wanted to do it within the certain amount of years. I think it was 20 or 40 years.
40 years, I think. Yeah.
40 years, so
Yeah. He said 40 years has ended just last week. He said, that's it. Done. And throughout his life he was doing this kind of giving. So 8 reasons for giving. I think he just wanted to do it. He said, I didn't expect anything, nothing, just do it for the welfare of others. So it's actually a very noble thing to do. Yeah. And so the Buddha said these are the 8 reasons for giving. And then he follows, this whole chapter is talking about giving, so it's sort of like very short paragraphs and very short teachings. So he said by giving food that you give 4 things. In this short paragraph on page 170, he said by giving 4 things you give by giving food you give actually 4 things to the recipient. The first is you give them long life, because, well, don't think that long life is like 100 years old or whatever. At least the person who received the food can live on, so that is already a longer life than what he was supposed to have. Okay, if he did not have food, then he will die. But if somebody give him food, then he will live a longer life, a little bit longer, maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe a year, maybe 10 years. So don't misunderstand this word long life. And then beauty. Of course, if you have food, you look nicer, right? If you don't have enough food, or if you eat a lot of food but you don't absorb it, then you look sort of like that, right? So beauty. And then happiness. When you give food to people, you give happiness, especially to those people who are in need of food. I remember I saw something, somebody sent it to me lately, that a little girl was eating in a restaurant, inside restaurant, and her food just came, and then through the window she saw a homeless person sitting out on a bench just outside the restaurant. And this little girl asked the mom, "Can I give my plate of food to him?" Her mom said, "Sure, I can order another plate for you." And the girl said, and the mom said, "Do you want to bring it to him yourself?" She said, "Can I do that?" Mom said, "Of course, you can do that." So I think she was like 6 or 7. She brought the food, she brought the cutlery, and then she actually took it out to, and then the homeless man was so nodding away, and she called him. She said, "Hello, sir. Hello, sir." She called him, "Sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir." And he looked up and looked at her and said, and he smiled. And the little girl said, "Can I give this to you?" The man said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah. Can I give this to you?" And he said, "Thank you." So she said, "Enjoy it." She went back, and her mom said, "How are you feeling?" She said, "I'm very happy, Mom. I'm very happy." You can see this when people receive, especially the needy people, somebody can give them. It is so wonderful. It's so wonderful. I remember, I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was it a Sunday morning or Saturday morning? I looked out from my condo. I was hanging my laundry up, and I saw a homeless man just downstairs, and I said, "Oh, he looked, well, he looked, that was my own feeling. He looked very down, but there was the sun. He was sitting in the sun. He was like having like sitting right where the sun was. So I was gathering the food from my fridge, and when I looked out from my condo, he was gone. So I came and I talked to Sensi. I told her the story. I said, "You see, when you want to give, the opportunity might not be there, right?" So even though it was just within 10 minutes, he was gone. Couldn't see him. So and then the next one is the strength. So if you give them food, if it's for a needy person, definitely. You only give food when you think that somebody needs it, right? Then you give them the strength, because after the food nourishes the body. So then the Buddha said, because you give the 4 things, then you will bring on, then he or she will be endowed with the long life, you will be endowed with a long life. Next life, you will be endowed with a long life, whether it's a human or divine rebirth. Okay? And then with beauty, then you will be endowed with beauty, human or divine, because of giving food. And happiness, you will be endowed with similar happiness, divine or human. And with strength, and you'll be endowed with strength, human or divine. So these are wondering. Wonderful. Wonderful results of giving. Of course, one should not have such an intention to look pretty, to be beautiful, so I give. Then there's that intention of becoming beautiful. Then that is already a wrong start. Okay? So you give really what? Conditionally. Yeah? Unconditionally. So, okay? So this is the result of gift of food. So the Buddha said, by giving food, give those 4 things to those who receive it, you will have those 4 things in your next life, whether in a human life or in a divine life. So what happens if somebody gives 5 gifts of a superior person? which is a superior gift, a gift out of faith. So, tell me something, give me an example, a gift out of faith. Anybody? Laurie?
I think a gift out of faith might be if you gave someone a book on Dhamma or something like that.
Okay. Out of faith though. Because you...
It would make me
Okay.
want to share it.
Okay. Good. Okay. Anybody else? Versha, okay. Versha, unmute yourself.
Would offerings be gifts of faith?
It could be. Offerings to who?
To any divine
Okay.
the divas. When you make offerings, is that a gift of faith?
Yes, yes, yes. Yes. Offerings to the divas, offerings to the triple gems. Okay. Mali. Mali. You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
Offering food to monastics.
Offerings to monastics, yes. Yes, good. Anybody else? Mala? Did she put up her hand?
She did.
Yes, Mala. What?
Pulling me.
Oh, she's bullying you.
I would say giving a gift out of faith would be to offer money for education or a home.
Yeah?
With the faith that the person will elevate. I gave a homeless person my husband's shoes one time. And he was an addict on the street, and I directed him to a person, another Buddhist in town, and he got clean after a few months. And
Good.
He went home to Montreal. So that was the faith that my husband's anger would lessen, the shoes would go to a good place, plus his clothes.
Good.
I had a lot of faith that he would be elevated, and he was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have the faith in him that he will be elevated. Yeah. That's great. Good. Wonderful. It's not necessarily just on religious faith, right? It could be on anything, right? And like we give our time to serve at the prisons because we trust that they can be better people, and actually that verified our faith in them was really correct, and a lot of them actually have become better people. So yeah, so it says here, then next life, it will be that person will become rich, affluent, wealthy, handsome, comely, graceful, endowed with supreme beauty of complexion. You see, so wonderful. The Buddha is so compassionate. Everything that he taught us is just telling us, you do this, and next life you will be like this. We don't have to wait for next life. This life we actually be already rich in the heart, not just really rich in the material stuff, right? And graceful and endowed with supreme beauty and complexion. So the second gives a gift out of respect. So you have mentioned just now offerings to the monastic, or giving a gift to your parents, yeah? Giving a gift to your parents, giving a gift to your teachers because you respect them, or giving a gift to any elders. Anybody else? Somebody unmute yourself, want to talk? Tisa? Bali?
How about serving at a food kitchen?
Serving at a food kitchen.
Serving people who are in need.
Yeah.
Yeah, so volunteering.
Volunteering. Yeah. Volunteering with respect and not with disrespect. With respect, anything. Okay? But that the base is with respect. Okay? So next life, you become rich, affluent, wealthy, and his children, wives, slaves, messengers, and workers are very obedient, he says here. And they lend their ears to him and apply their minds to understand him. So nice. Why? Because you respect. Because when one respects others, what you will get is respect from the other. It's actually mutual. When you don't respect people, people don't respect you. Simple. It's boomerang. Right? So this respect. So, okay, so next one is gifts at the right time. So as I said, a couple of weeks ago, I wanted to give, but I wasn't giving at the right time. And so that is actually very important too, at the right time. And what does it bring? It brings you rich, affluent, wealthy, benefits. Come to him at the right time, in abundant measure. Okay, Kautil said, if a person with great karma, without being aware of Dhamma, ends up being blessed with many gifts in the next life, where would he or she, its motivations for self-improvement and enlightenment come from? Well, you never know. If he has seeds of Dhamma, even though he's blessed with many gifts in the next life, if those seeds actually would spring, would germinate, he will still have the urge to actually seek for enlightenment. It really depends on whether they have the seeds. But you see, all these many gifts in the next life, because of he planted many good causes in the past life. But you never know whether they have good causes of encountering, studying, learning the Dhamma. You don't know. And you don't need to know because it's none of your business. It really is none of our business, right? Whether he has, of course, we want them to learn the Dhamma. We want them to actually to be enlightened. But it's our wanting. At the end of the day, that wishes have to be abandoned totally in order to free yourself completely. Otherwise, there is still this string tying you. Okay? So that's why in Diamond Sutra, there is no one sentient being needed to be free. Right? Something like that. 無有一眾生得道者, So, you don't, that's in the Diamond Sutra. So, gifts at the right time. Gifts at the right time. And then the next one is, Irene said, giving of courage. Yeah, anything. and gives with a generous heart, like Chuck Finney. Yeah? Gives with a generous heart. What does it bring? Next lifetime, becomes rich, affluent, wealthy. His mind inclines to the enjoyment of sensual pleasures because he gives so much. The result of such generosity will bring a very, 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 you can say, wholesome rebirth in heavenly existence. So there are still a lot of sensual pleasures there. I mean, mainly heavenly beings, the sensual pleasures. So, but that is not the ultimate goal. If we practice the Dhamma, that's not the ultimate. That is actually, it could be a hindrance. And then gives without denigration. So that means when you give, you don't cause any harm and hurts, or there is no damaging, degrading others when you give. So here he said it becomes rich, and he becomes affluent and wealthy, and no loss of his wealth takes place from any quarter, whether from fire, floods, king, bandits, or unloved heirs. So these are the superior person's gifts. So one gives with such a mind. So it's really, the Buddha taught here is actually taught us about our intention, our attitude, and how are we going to able to actually use the opportunity right in front of us to give at a timely manner, and also the principle of giving. Okay, so actually this tells us what kind of mind we should actually carry when we give. Okay, and we can see from the results of this giving, we can see actually from the beginning is giving out of faith, God gives out of respect, and gives a gift at the right time, and eventually it opens up to a generosity, big generosity, with a mind that is not damaging or causing harm or belittling people. Okay, so that's actually, that entails a very wholesome intention of giving. So, and here at it continues with giving to about the mutual support of giving. So this is actually mainly talking about householder and and those people who actually left a householder life. So Brahmins and ascetics. So Brahmins and householder give four types of gifts to Sangha. And which four? You should all know this. The robes, the alms food, the lodgings, and the medicines. So these are called the four type of giving of dana. And in here you see robes, alms food, lodgings, and medicines are actually all helping the Sangha for physical existence. Right? All physical existence. So the householder, the Brahmins, the householder support the Sangha. But what does the Sangha give back to the householders? You all should know now, because that's what I taught all the time. And Sangha gives back to Brahmins and householder the Dhamma, which is good in the beginning, which is good in the end. And also which is, with the correct meaning and wording, proclaim the spiritual life in its fulfillment and complete purity. That's what this mutual support means, is the monks in this spiritual life is lived with mutual support for the purpose of crossing the flood. What does it mean by crossing the flood? What does the flood? Okay, Nora, just unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, Nora. Nora.
It's sort of an analogy to like crossing over to the other side. So
yes,
navigating your way out of samsara.
Good. Okay, Ramin. Yes. Thank you, Nora. Ramin. Yes, Ramin.
Question.
Question?
Yeah.
Okay.
What was the question?
What was the question? What was the question? The question was, because in here it says, monks, this spiritual life is lived by mutual support. He said, the Buddha said, therefore, monks, this spiritual life is lived with mutual support for the purpose of crossing the flood and making a complete end of suffering. I was asking, what does it mean by the flood? Flood, F-L-O-O-D, flood. That's the question.
So in one way, the flood can be emotional, a storm that one goes through life, and because we are emotional being at the same time, and flood could be also related to something that can be very wild and unpredictable. So it refers to unpredictable moment in life, maybe.
Okay, yes, you're right. That is. Those are small floods.
Asavas?
Asavas, yes, yeah. So remember, those big floods are the cycles of rebirth, samsara. So those are the floods. So we constantly are actually swept away by those floods, right? Constantly. So the Buddha said this mutual support is the householder supporting the sangha support the householder in different ways. So the sangha is actually supporting the householder on the mental and the spiritual journey, and whereas the householder is supporting the sangha on a physical level. Okay. So then he goes on with the rebirth on account of giving. So there are 8 kinds of rebirth. Rebirth among the affluent nobles, Brahmins, or householder. Okay, so if you give, so there is this first kind of, if you give to an ascetic or Brahmin, offering him food, drink, etc. In making this gift, he hopes for a reward. And then when this body breaks up, after this death, after this body, after this life, he will be reborn among affluent nobles, Brahmins, or householders. This, however, very important. However, I declare only for the morally pure, not for the immoral. For it is due to its purity amongst that the heart's desire of the morally pure succeeds. The heart's desire of the morally pure. That means if the person is giving with a very pure moral mind, then whatever he wants to be reborn in, he will be reborn into. So if a householder is giving to this affluent nobles, Brahmins, or householder, and etc., continue with 8 kinds, okay? For the 4 great kings, and then or wanting to be reborn in these Tavitisma divas, when they give, they have such a wish, such a reward. wanting to be reborn in such a place when they give. So when they give, they wanted to be reborn in the realm of the four great kings, or in the realm of the Tavitisma Devas, or in the realm of the Yama Devas, or in the realm of the Tusita Devas, or in the realm of the Devas who delight in creating. So you know this. Or in the realm of those Devas who actually wield power over others' creations. So you know these are the six Kamaloka worlds that we talked about last week, right? Okay, then these are only 7. Then the 8th one is the wish to be reborn in the company of Brahmas. So it's a higher heaven, the Rupa Dhatu. Okay, so in these 8 kinds of rebirth, so somebody gives such things. It's the same thing. Give to an ascetic or a Brahmin, offering him food, drink, clothing, vehicles, garlands, scents, unguents, bedding, lodgings, lighting. In making such gift, he hopes for a reward, and a reward to be reborn in any of these heavens. And the Buddha said, yes, he will be reborn in such a heaven, but only with this basing on this. This is the most important thing, is these 8 types of rebirths only for the morally pure, because it is due to this purity that the heart's desire of the morally pure succeeds. That means that person who actually carries a pure moral, and if they make such a wish, then that wish will succeed. But if it is on the other hand, that person who gives such gifts doesn't have a high morality, then that wish will not come true. Okay? And the last one for the reborn among the devas of the Brahmas is only for the morally pure and only for the one who is free of lust. So you can see it, because with Brahma world is the Rupa Dhatu is way much higher than the Kamaloka. Is way much higher. So one needs to actually abandon the lust more. But for those people who wanted to be reborn in the Kamaloka ones, or who are really reborn in those Kamaloka ones, they still have lust. They still have lust. And if they continue to practice and abolish those lusts, then the next step will be, the next rebirth could be in the Rupa Dhatu. Okay? So this is what the Buddha taught about giving. Many little chapters, and it actually adds up all the really important criteria of giving and what kind of intention we should carry when we give. I didn't have enough time to think about reflections. It has been crazily busy. So maybe you can think of some reflections. Maybe you can share some reflections. Good. Okay. Catherine and then Mark. Catherine Chen from San Francisco, please.
Would you please define organ donation, organ giving after you die?
Organ donation, you cannot donate organ after you die. You have to be alive when you give organ. Brain death.
When you die, you make a vow to give your organ, to make your organ.
But they have to sustain your vitals though, right? They have to sustain your vitals though. Your vital signs are still there.
You know, if you're in a car accident,
Yeah.
and your they can take the organs and freeze them and
Freeze them?
they put them in a
Oh, I know what you mean. Okay.
There's a certain amount of time for what organ they can take.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
But you still have to sign the donor card.
Oh, of course, yes. Yeah. Okay. Organ donation. What do you want to know about organ donation? Is it a giving?
Oh. Yeah, is that a giving?
Of course it's a
What
giving.
type of giving would that be?
What type of giving? That's the first type of giving. Material, isn't it? Huh? Material giving. But it's an internal material giving. It's not an external. External material giving is giving of money, food, robes, everything. But internal giving is giving your own body. That is internal giving. 財施啊，呢個叫內財施。
Really?
內財施 ，not 外財，內財 internal giving. Okay, this is 內財施. All right, so that is giving. That is a donation. Okay, so you have another questions?
So do Buddhists, does Buddhism support that? Because I've been hearing different.
This is a controversial. It is a very controversial topic. It's really a very long discussion. It depends, really depends on different views. I support organ donation myself. I sign organ donation myself. But of course, I mean, the Buddha gave his body himself. So he gave his whole body, his whole body. So that's it. That is inside and outside. So that is not just one organ donation, it's body donation, the whole life body donation. So it is a very, very, I think, don't call it a Buddhist or whatever, it is actually a very personal issue. But whenever it is possible, I think one should consider that. But you have to actually practice. You have to keep a very strong practice. Bodhisattva vow. Mark? Okay.
I don't know if I phrase my question properly, but to me it seems like for morally pure, you know, I guess I'm wondering, like, to have a successful rebirth, it's saying that your heart's desire, but then wouldn't you be donating based on, you know, not generosity, but on a hope that you're going to do better for yourself, like a selfish donation?
You think that is selfish? But morally pure...
You know, if you want like a successful rebirth, instead of giving, you know, being generous, because just it's the right thing to do, but you're kind of hoping for a better rebirth. Isn't that a little selfish?
Hoping for a better rebirth, isn't that selfish? Yes, that is of course selfish. That's why they are only reborn in the heavens.
Okay.
That's why they are reborn only in the heavens. They are not totally liberated.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but in order to be reborn in those heavens, one need to be morally pure. But mind you, morally pure, not that means that people don't kill, the people don't steal, and people don't lie, and that is the morality that the Buddhas always emphasize on. Remember,
But your own rebirth, your own vow to reborn in the heaven is your own selfish, you want to call it selfish wish. But it doesn't hurt others. If your selfish wish start to hurt others, then you will not be called morally pure.
The results you showed after the, I'll call the intention.
Yeah.
That is a result from the action.
Yeah. Yes.
This isn't the goal.
Of course, it's not the goal.
This isn't the final goal.
No.
If you do that, this will happen.
Yeah. That's the cause and effect.
Where you are on the path really has. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
It's not the goal.
It's not the goal, I know.
It's the result from the action.
Yeah.
If you're that kind of person doing those things, then this will happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Being
yeah.
on the Dhamma path is a whole separate
yeah.
issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So you're not, if you're that kind of person, you're not doing that to get, do you know what I'm saying? Whether you realize you're that kind of person or not, this will happen.
Of course. Yes.
It's
yes.
not a goal.
It's not a goal. Yeah. It's not a goal.
It's
Yeah.
hard to explain.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a goal, but yeah.
It's a cause and effect.
It, of course, it's a cause and effect. Yeah. So we you know, walking on the path, we need to. Why do we need to practice why do we need to practice? If you are not selfish, you don't need to practice. You start off because you want to improve yourself. That is already a selfish act. Right? That is already a selfish act. One has to be selfish to start off with. And then after you actually know that this is possible and this is working and I need to share. I need to let people know about this wonderful Dharma. Then you start to share, you start to give. So you need to start off being selfish. Just like when I talk about faith, you need to start off with a little bit of blind faith. You listen to the Dhamma teaching, oh yeah, cause and effect. That seems to be my cup of tea. That seems to be my cup of tea. Let me go and listen to it. So there's kind of a blindness there. Then you go and listen to it. Oh yeah, cause and effect, dependent origination. Oh yes, then it opens you up. That's not blind anymore. You see, right? So in the beginning, we all have to start somewhere. Start somewhere. If you don't start somewhere, you don't start at all. Why bother starting? Why bother practicing? Right? You need to be selfish. You need to be.
Mothers should be good, and the children can.
Huh?
Mothers should be good first.
Mother should behave first, then the children will behave, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Understand? You know what I mean, Mark? Good. Okay. Ramin has his hand up. Yeah, Ramin, unmute yourself and you can speak.
Yeah, so here a selfish or selfishness can be used in a different way. But I think what my understanding was, I took from Buddha's word is if to be selfish to apply it, so because we know it's good, it's a good nutrition, rather than it's selfish only for me, not for other person.
Exactly. Yes.
That's different selfish.
Yes, of course. As I said just now, you're selfish to start off, then, okay, wow, after I taste this, I want to share. Okay, great, good. Anybody else?
Is it Iwa want to talk?
Iwa? No, I don't think so.
It's just
Who? Oh, Mali, come on, unmute yourself, please. Otisa. Yeah.
To me, the best kind of giving is the one that associated with good intention.
Yes.
And one that is associated with not expecting anything in return.
Unconditional.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unconditional.
Yep.
Giving.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Tisa. Unconditional giving. And based on a wholesome intention. Good. Kwok, yes.
Is it better to even start out giving in a not a good way, because for me personally, I have to learn to be able to get past the fear of giving, because you think if you're going to give something, you may not have, you don't have enough, or you.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a learning process for me. It's the beginning. It's hard.
Yeah.
As you do it.
Gradually.
You become more generous. So it's,
yes.
It's like a learning.
A learning process. Yeah.
To take a step.
Yes.
Otherwise
you will never do it.
Yeah, it's hard to progress.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you're not able to take
expand. Yeah. Right. Kwok said that it's actually giving is a learning process, progressing. So in the beginning is fear of giving, because the fear of I won't have enough after I have given. So if you have taken one step to give, then you think, oh, that's fine, I'm still okay. Then you give a little bit more. Then you think, oh, I'm still okay. Then you give a little bit more. Then you expand the extent of giving. And you know what? The Chinese saying is just so wonderful. The word giving makes up of two words. And it's the first is give. The first word is give. That means giving. And the second word is getting. So the more you give, the more you get. That's the Chinese word of giving. 捨得嗬，越捨越得. So that's why he said, the more you give, the more you get. The less you give, the less you get. If you don't give, you don't get. That's actually very true. Not just about money. Even a smile, or even a friendly gesture. If you don't give, people don't give that back to you. Eventually, people don't give that a friendly smile to you anymore. So it's not just about material. You want to say something, Eva?
Yeah, I'm just thinking that one other ingredient is having the faith in what you're giving, especially in things that aren't material.
Yeah.
So if you're giving time or service, and I think that's one of the big stumbling blocks that I see, well, in myself, that's why I can see it in other places, but in prison.
In prisons, yeah.
It's so difficult for those guys to see that they have something
in there.
To give.
Yeah.
And when they make that connection finally, and like the small things or the big things that they've tried to give.
Yeah.
They're huge.
Yeah. Eva sharing that the guys in the prison, they think that they don't have anything to give, but when they try, the things that they can give is really huge. You know what? We actually, the first time I heard this at the prison was after the one-day course, where every other month we have a one-day course at the prison. And there was this guy, he has been meditating with us for 4 years now. And the first time he came in, he was such an angry person. And I remember that year when he actually started meditating with us, the year before he started around November or something. And then on the year after that, in February, I was going to give a TEDx talk. So and then the Chilliwack Progress newspaper actually had an article about me and about Po Lam. So we thought it's nice to bring them, this newspaper to the prison and show them what it was. And then we brought a couple of papers into and then I gave it. I said, this is talking about the TEDx talk that I'm going to give, and because the talk was about transformation in the prison with mindfulness. And he said, I live in a prison long enough. I know what prison is. I don't need to read anything about the prison anymore. He was so angry. He was so angry. He was so negative. He was always on guard. But after gradually, he comes every week. Every week he hasn't missed 1 week except the week that he had to go to hospital. And one time after a one-day meditation, we had about 15 minutes of sharing. What he shared? It was such a big gift to us. He said, thank you for all of you to come. They are always very polite, very grateful, because we always do it on a Sunday, and especially with Eva having family, and Carrie having family, and everybody having family except me, right? So, and then he said, I feel so safe in here that I allow myself to be vulnerable. Because as I always tell them, with meditation like this, things could come up and you feel very vulnerable. You feel like you're naked in front of yourself. And then sometimes that could scare them, because in the prison population, being vulnerable is one last thing you want to be, because it's about survival. It's not about living. It's about survival. So feeling vulnerable but feeling safe is such a big thing to them. And by hearing that, he has given me such a great gift, a gift of faith, really a gift of faith that the Buddha's teachings really work, and our efforts really work, and our efforts was really worthwhile. So those are big gifts. Big gifts. And people think that, they give you $100 or $1 million, they think that they're giving me big gift. I'm not belittling those, but those gifts are really so valuable. And seeing them being a happy person and come clean, like Mr. T out in the community working after such a long imprisonment, and happy and living and working. That is such a wonderful gift to see him like this, so being so happy, so and like Claudio said, sending metta at the end of meditation is a wonderful way of giving. Don't just do it at the end of meditation, Claudio. Do it anytime, anywhere. Anywhere. Even driving along the highway, you see a truckload of cows going into the butcher, the truckload of chickens and pigs. Send them metta. Tell them to forgive human beings of killing them in order to feed us. Then send metta all the time, okay? All right, that's nice. Great, thank you. All right? All right. Okay, let's dedicate our mirrors. May these blessings extend to all, that we with all the other living beings together will attain the Buddha way. May we wish more and more people will encounter the wise words of the Buddha, study them, practice them, and use them to disentangle themselves from all the sufferings, miseries, arrogance, doubts, and be ultimately happy, peaceful, and free.